What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Do Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Lions Talk Live. Hey, it's Thursday morning show edition, and it is one day before the Lions get back on the field to play in the next preseason game. Most of the rest of the NFL will be just kicking off this particular weekend. Lions, though, we should see a noticeable jump from what we saw in the Hall of Fame game to this particular game because they will have had so much time as a coaching staff putting some things in. Talking to different people in Detroit-based media and a couple other people that maybe don't work in Detroit-based media might have some real news and notes, things we've kind of speculated, I feel like, for some time since John Morton was hired. But it sounds like we're getting more and more corroborating evidence of some of the changes he will be providing in the regular season. I really doubt we'll see anything in the preseason. You never know, though. Maybe Morton wants to work on some stuff. We're going to dive into that during the main topic of the day, see what the Do Crew has to say about it. I'm in favor of a lot of these changes, some of these shifts. Some of the stuff I'm going to guess we all probably guessed will be happening, like maybe 2, 3, 29 running back sets, 5 receiver packages, multiple tight end looks, power formations, stuff like that. We'll get into that again during the main topic of the day, but I think we've got some good information now regarding a lot of that we will see, and why just potentially some of those draft picks we made a year ago may have been better thought of with this regime or offensive coaching staff than maybe they were in the past. All right, before we get into all that, before we get into the 5 headlines now, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 12 subs away from hitting 14,100. If you can help out with that, man, I would give you a crisp high five. Also, if you have a half second of time, it doesn't cost you even a dang dime. Reach on over, reach on down, up, left, right, center, wherever it may be. Hit that thumbs up button, the like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 2, 3, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but most certainly, never least, if you're considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, where I reside, let alone the continental United States of America, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. Have a quick conversation. Let me chat with you about how I can use over 30 years of experience as a realtor to save you time, hassle, money, the whole shebang and bang, trying to make the process stress-free, easy to be, and, maybe get you a good deal. All right, and that can be commercial properties, regular properties, vacant properties, properties on Mars, Metaverse, whatever. Go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. We'll go from there. All right, let's get this show rocking and rolling and going and kicking off with 5 headlines now. You can always tell when it's day before a preseason game because the headlines, they really kind of get compressed. Usually coaches don't want to do a whole lot of stuff leading into the preseason game, kind of walk through, keep people happy, refine some stuff. All right, whatever just happened at Bears camp should have the Lions on alert. Sideline report. Ryan Heckman with that one. Hey, we've been talking, I feel like ever since Ben Johnson got the job in Chicago, expectations for the Bears. If you're a Bears fan, they're probably through the roof. You're probably thinking, hey, it's 1985 all over again. But there's been a lot of stuff. You guys have seen the videos. You've seen the reports. People talking about it's not going well in Chicagoland. Well, there are some reporters starting to come out, long-time Bears reporters, and saying, while, yes, the Bears are struggling, they actually think it's a good thing. They think Ben Johnson's bringing a certain type of toughness to the organization that they haven't seen maybe since Mike Ditka. And yes, that's been a while if you haven't paid attention in a while. But anyways, Ben Johnson, there are some reports that the team is starting to kind of get on board a little bit. A few guys here, a few guys there. They're still a mess. They're still not really pointing upwards yet. But if you believe in Ben Johnson, what he learned from MCDC, then as a Lions fan, per this report, you probably need to take a long look at the Bears and say, maybe week 2 of the regular season, it might not be great for the Chicago Bears, but beyond that, they could become a legitimate threat. You are starting to see more and more national media pick them 3 in the division, or 3rd in the division, I should say, potentially have an upside potential to win 10, 12 games. You win 10 or 12 games, you will be contending for the NFC North. It's way too early for me and Daniel Damas to give out predictions for the season, but I do think I agree somewhat with what these reports are saying, that the Bears, while they're going through some difficult times right now, Lions fans should not overlook them. I'm 1,000% sure the Lions coaching staff and players aren't overlooking them. They're going to want to go out there and show their worth and try to win the division once again. So don't overlook anybody. All right, Detroit Lions' most important training camp battle. The last word on sports. Sue Levine with this one. And I don't think there's a Lions fan out there that would probably disagree with Sue's assessment of this situation. Their assessment is just simply this. The battle to replace Frank Ragnow is the number one battle in camp. There's nothing more important. It doesn't matter if you're talking defensive line, secondary, whatever other position you want to mention. We all get this. You don't have much of a running game. You don't have much of a passing game if you do not have an offensive line. That's offensive line. The center position is the most dominant position on the offensive line. Yes, the left tackle typically protects the backside of the quarterback. Yes, the right tackle, sets up a lot of the running stuff. But if you don't have crisp, clean exchanges between center and quarterback, we all get it. You got a lot of loose balls, things hitting the ground, not got a good situation for any offense. The running game usually is built around how you're going to do blocking assignments with the center position and then goes from inward, outward. So we're all going to want to pay a lot of attention with this. We've heard for about a week now, I'd say, that Graham Glasgow is more or less going to be the starting center. While that hasn't actually been confirmed, it's been suggested by both John Morton, kind of loosely worded by MCDC. And then, of course, you just pay attention to what's happening in camp. You're seeing after 3 days, I want to say maybe it was 4 days, of Tate Ratledge taking the vast majority or the lion's share of reps at center. Glasgow has kind of picked it up from there and taken over. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm assuming at this point it will be Decker, Panay Sewell, Christian Mahogany, Tate Ratledge, and then Glasgow at center. But we still got a long time to go before week 1 of the regular season. More and more reporters are kind of confirming what I just mentioned, that, hey, that's probably your starting offensive line. Will that end up being the actual case? I don't know. But according to ESPN and other outlets, they are putting betting lines now on that if you are so interested. I think the Lions' offensive line is going to probably be better than advertised. I have that kind of belief in Decker, that kind of belief in Panay Sewell, and definitely Christian Mahogany, even though his body of work in the NFL has been on a limited basis. I think what you saw last year is probably just the start of things. Once he got healthy, once he got over the mono and all that, he was a monster out there. And probably most of you are going to say Graham Glasgow is your biggest question mark. I think most observers believe that Tate Ratledge, even though he's going to be a rookie, is going to be pretty dang good. Glasgow, though, left a lot of Lions fans with a bad taste in his mouth last year. Was it because of the injuries? Was it because he was constantly trying to play through those injuries to help out? Was it because he was out of position? I guess all will be answered real quick in the regular season. Pay attention to this battle because it will probably play a big factor in how good the Lions are this year. Because I think even if he's bad, they can still win 9 to 10 games. But if he ends up being pretty dang good, I think that barometer now rockets up to 12 to 13. Yes, it makes that kind of an impact in my humble opinion. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Lions rookie trending upwards. Needs to continue getting in shape. Detroit Lions on SI by Christian Boer. We talked about a ton of Lions rookies, all off season, all training camp. We haven't talked a ton about Tyleik Williams. And some of that is because he wasn't on the field a ton during OTAs, other than working on the sidelines with people. We all get it. He was being allowed to help rework, heal up that hamstring injury he had right in the NFL scouting combine. But since then, since he's been on the field, you've heard nothing but glowing praise about this guy. So I wanted to try to get him some just due. Thankfully, I found a story from Christian Boer that was published just yesterday, and it does sound like while he is having to get into game shape because they were trying to give him time to heal up, you're seeing nothing but good stuff out there. There have been reports saying he's looked dominant at times. Well, a lot of reports, including reports from players, that's what I really like to hear, is when other players, talent recognizes talent, just say how fast he is, how athletic he is. We all know he didn't have the greatest numbers at Ohio State University. The reasons why, I'll let you guys, Scooby-Doo, and dive into that. But also talking to some of the coaching staff, Dan Campbell, etc. Dan Campbell yesterday on 88.6, I guess that's a radio station, was talking to different people about Tyleik Williams, and even came out and said, you know what, they may have gotten a bigger player, a bigger investment than they originally anticipated when they drafted him. And some of that, could you tune it into, coach speak, just say, hey, that's a coach backing up some guy or whatever. It's possible. But I also would say everybody in the Duke crew watching this live or later on, you probably understand MCDC shoots straight from the hip. He doesn't hold back much. He doesn't kind of inflate things. He tells you what he honestly thinks and sees. And he apparently sees Williams as being somebody who's going to be a lot more impactful as a rookie on that defensive line than the Lions coaching staff had envisioned when they brought him in. It's not the regular season yet, so who really knows? But he is showing up on tape. He is becoming a bigger problem for the offensive line to block. I choose to believe that means the defensive line is better than advertised, and not that there's a problem with the offensive line, but they have been flexing him around more and more, and as he's getting in better shape, he is going to get some reps, from what I'm hearing, as a big defensive end at times, probably when Aleem McNeil gets back next to DJ Reader, maybe when you're spelling or rotating, I don't know, Marcus Davenport or other people, it may be in goal line situations, but I think we all get it. If he is this good, and it's not even him fully in shape, I guess that begs the question, how good is he going to be by the halfway point of the regular season once he's gotten in shape, kind of adjusted to the NFL, and maybe figures a few things out? We talk about Tesla, we talk about Ratledge, we talk about Ahmed Hassanin a ton, and to be fair, we've talked about Dominic Lovett, but this Lions rookie staff, or class, I should say, looks like it could end up being maybe not quite as good as the Laporta, Gibbs, Campbell, and all them, Brian Branch class, but it might be right up there. And if they can do that, you know what? Brad Holmes probably needs to get himself a statue in front of Ford Field. All right, next to the 5 glorious headlines now. Detroit Lions general manager Brad Holmes offers update on Aiden Hutchinson contract talks. Story by Mike Moratis of the Sporting News. Probably one of the biggest offseason stories is a two-parter with the same guy, Aiden Hutchinson. One, is he healthy? That seems to have been answered. Yes, everybody seems to say there's no sign of ill effects or whatever with that leg. I think we all get it. When he gets on the field, maybe he'll take a couple snaps. Who knows? Maybe it'll take a game for him to get reacclimated into playing. But I think expectations are pretty high for Aiden Hutchinson this year. The second part of that, as we all know, is, hey, when are you going to put pen to paper and get this guy on today's currency value versus a year from now's currency value? Because we all know NFL contracts, like anything else in life, other than a delicious Mountain Dew from the Circle K, which is still the same price at 82 cents, even after 20 plus years. But anyways, everything else on planet Earth seems to only go one way when it comes to a price, up, up, and away. So why wouldn't the Lions re-sign Aiden Hutchinson if they believe he's fully healthy now? We get it. The longer you wait, that annual yearly salary is going to go up. It's been anticipated Hutchinson will get in the 40 millions. If he comes out per year, I should say 40 million per year. If he comes out and puts up, a gajillion sacks this year, that number could actually get closer to 50. And the Lions already know they've got a ton of talent on this team, not just Aiden Hutchinson, that they're going to have to pay. If we were all Brad Holmes and the Duke crew, let me know your thoughts. Would you sign him now? And what would you give Aiden Hutchinson per year, I guess, to play? I'm not going to worry about, 3-4 years, this amount. Just tell me, what do you think his current value in the NFL for a yearly salary? I'm going to say probably right around $45 million. If he holds any kind of water to what he's done the last few seasons, I think that's where he's going to probably end up being. Maybe an argument could be made for more if he does get like a 20, 25 sack season. Although, seasons like that just don't happen that often. If you're that dominant, I would also say this: if Hutch gets anywhere near 17 to 20 sacks this year, probably means, I know Pierce and some of the other people in the Duke crew don't want to hear it, but it probably means Marcus Davenport's having himself a year because you're pulling blocking away from Hutch to block somebody else in that case. We'll have to wait and see, but I do hope they sign him sooner versus later. All right, last of the 5 glorious headlines now. Lions back and forth with former players, seems primed to end in resigning side. Lion report. Candace Pereira's with this one. We did talk about this in a second show yesterday. Most of you guys probably already know it, but Brad Holmes, during radio interviews yesterday, all but said the Lions are basically trying to get Zadarius Smith back in. No, he didn't word it that way. Just said, hey, they're staying in conversations. They're staying in talks. It's been long speculated. I mean, all off season that the Lions were going to re-sign Zadarius Smith. Yes, they are kicking some tires on Matthew Judon or whatever, but the Lions seem to have a clear vision or plan that they're going to add at least one more piece to that defensive line. I think most of us armchair general managers would agree it's going to be one of two scenarios. It's either going to be real late in training camp so that veteran player gets to rest, keep their body fresh as long as possible, or it's after week 1 of the regular season where we all know NFL contracts can be egregiously more team friendly at that point because you don't have to lock in so many guarantees. You're not signing a player for the full season, yada, yada, yada. Won't spend all day on that, but probably most of you guys already know that. If you had a pick right now between Judon and Zadarius Smith, who are you picking? I think the vast majority of Lions fans would say Zadarius Smith because he's better against the run. He's good against the pass. He's not great. He's good. Where Judon's probably better against the pass, not as good against the run. And everybody who knows MCDC knows you want to stop the run first and then get to the quarterback. We can have our own thoughts about, hey, stopping a mobile quarterback and guys who run or giving people too much time to pass, but they do want to try to make opposing offenses as one-dimensional as possible. And I would say Zadarius Smith probably better fits that than Judon. And not that I would complain about having either guy. In fact, if they want to sign them both, I think everybody would be happy. But it is what it is. All right, headlines now long enough. Let's get over to the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day. Talking to different people, I guess you'd say, connected with Detroit Lions. We have been wondering what the differences will be between Ben Johnson and John Morton. It sounds like you're getting more and more evidence of that. Can you imagine Dan Skipper being a tight end? Probably. You've seen it before, right? How about Dan Skipper as a fullback? Probably, I would say most people would raise an eyebrow and go, that's not so bad. How about Giovanni Manu being used as a lead back, especially in short yardage situations? Imagine a 350-pound dude that's 6'8", 6'7", whatever he is, coming downhill to block you. I think he's going to block out a lot of linebackers, defensive linemen, at least chip them enough to where a running back could run behind you and probably get a few yards. So with all that being said, we also know that John Morton wants more versatility in the Detroit Lions offense. Let's start with one simple thing. He wants a vertical scheme. You guys get that. I know it. He's come out and said it. He wants to take shots down the field, put pressure on the opposing defense. Well, if that's true, then you probably all already have expectations that, St. Brown, Tesla, Jameson Williams, they're going to get some opportunities to go get the ball long down the field. We're also hearing some different reports or coaching chatter that we should all anticipate different packages with multiple running backs out there. The 2 running back sets, I think you guys all get that's coming. It'd be more of a pro formation. Hey, you got 2 receivers out wide, 1 tight end in tight, and 2 split backs behind you. I don't know how often we'll get an I formation, but we probably get a pro formation with split backs behind Goff. What's that going to do? Well, if you need a block for an extra, say, second or 2, you got 2 guys standing equal to or slightly behind Jared Goff on the snap if he wants to do play action to either one of those guys and now throw the deep bomb. You got a little extra time to stop those blitzing backers, safeties, whatever coming after you. The other part is some of these guys are going to be flexed out. Sam Laporta or Brock Wright or whoever else is going to be used as a running back at times, a fullback at times, a lead back at times, and go out and obviously do tight end stuff. We've also been speculating, could Tim Patrick be used in that role? And it does sound like part of the value for Tim Patrick, and as he has self-proclaimed, he's struggling a little bit. Maybe if you go back and look at the tape, you might see why a little bit. Guess who is lining up more and more as a tight end or going into the backfield and coming out, blocking and then releasing in a flex route or out route or whatever, and that would be Tim Patrick. The Lions have a ton of talent at both running back and wide receiver. It sounds like John Morton is, when cameras aren't allowed to be around or when reporters aren't allowed to allegedly be around, he is tinkering with some of just this. It's kind of a throwback offensive system that some of you guys remember from the 70s, 80s. If you remember the Oakland Raiders, you ran this stuff to death. You could even give some credit to the Chicago Bears, early 80s, 85 team. They did run a lot of that kind of stuff. But it's kind of been a foregone conclusion that this stuff hasn't been around in the NFL for 30 years, 20 plus years. And Morton seems destined to bring it back to the NFL. MCDC, as you guys all know, he wants to impose a physical game on the opposing team. The NFL, since I guess you could say probably late 90s, early 2000s, really went away from that kind of stuff, more pass-friendly type stuff. And MCDC, amongst others in recent years, has been trying to bring back a more physical brand of football. It does sound like Morton's going to go with it. It does sound like we're going to see all sorts of different packages. Anybody watching this who remembers Ben Johnson used a lot of trick plays. While it sounds like that wore thin with Dan Campbell, it sounds like one thing Dan Campbell does want is trick formations, not necessarily plays. Put opposing defenses in bad situations. Let's Scooby-Doo this real quick. Let's just say you do have a 3 running back system. Everybody watching probably agrees Dave Montgomery's not flexing out to a receiver too often, maybe from time to time. But Gibbs, could he do that? I think the answer is yes. Sion Vaki, probably also. And I do think the Lions are going to try to add one more running back. Don't know who yet, but I won't be surprised if they add one more running back who can achieve just that. Be used in a little bit of a situation as a wide receiver. So if you go with 3 running backs on the field, how many linebackers does the opposing team now put on the field? Or do you go with a bunch of safeties? If you have a bunch of safeties, guys, 210, 215, you're probably running the ball. But if you bring in a bunch of linebackers, you probably are going to force 1 or 2 of those backers to have to cover, say, Avaki or Gibbs. And that's probably a big win for the Detroit Lions. We can go back and forth all day breaking this down. I don't want to spend all day on it, but that's what I'm hearing more and more. It is a little bit slower news day, so I did want to try to dive in a topic that maybe you aren't going to see on every other Lions content creator's channel. I'm trying to find content in the preseason that, keeps us informed, keeps us thinking, but also isn't going to be so, much of a copy and paste from everybody else. So, all right, guys, that's what I got for you this morning. Let's hop over to the Do Crew comment section and see what you guys have to say. Let me scroll to the top of the screen, and here I go. I'm scrolling. Still going, and here we go. Clark Griswold, yo, what up, though, to that crew that drinks the dew, exclamation point, back at you. Feels like I haven't seen you in a hot second. Johnny L, good morning, folks. Same to you, Johnny. Still love the hat. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. You got another thing coming, exclamation point. Woo, that sounds like a good line for a song. Big Eddie, what happened to the Tigers, question mark, from best to worst in about a month? I don't watch a ton of baseball anymore. But I do know, I'm sure everybody knows, they had one of the best starts ever in Major League Baseball. And then for whatever reason, the last several weeks, man, they can't get out of their own way. Hopefully they get it figured out. Johnny, are we talking about this morning? Who are we talking about? And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. I like the idea of using, Tim Patrick, Sam Laporta, Brock Wright in a multitude of different situations. I like using the running backs in that situation. And I do think you've heard some stuff out of camp. You can expect a lot of the wide receivers to be used before. Remember his rookie year, St. Brown was used as a running back, and I think a little bit his sophomore year. So that wouldn't be a massive surprise if they do that. I could see that. Same with Jameson Williams. Maybe some of the other guys, but I do think with Tim Patrick, Tesla, you could use them as a pseudo third string, tight end, also maybe a fullback, lead back to a certain degree. Again, probably depending on what you want to achieve on that play. All right, Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Johnny L looks like Morton's offense. I wonder what things he will do differently than Ben. Hey, that's part of the beauty of the preseason is figuring out, trying to unwrap the gift before Christmas, right? And I think Morton's got some pretty good ideas from what I'm hearing. Johnny, help me too. Stephanie, Silver, good morning, coach and everyone. Back at you. Trade, what's good? What's good this morning? Everybody, question mark. That's Vaki in the photo. It is. Is he back healthy now? He's on the field. He's doing stuff. It's my guess, unless they think the injuries are lingering, you'll see him tomorrow night against the Falcons. Bo, 2 back sets for sure. I concur. Johnny L, whatever it is, it's going to be awesome. I couldn't say that better if I tried. Coach Tony K, hey, coach and do crew, exclamation point. I'm excited about Z, quote, coming back. I'm manifesting it into an existence. I have to believe for Brad Holmes to go on the mic, on the radio, talk about it as frequently as he has, that's a strong indication to me that they talk fairly regularly. Brad Holmes, Detroit Lions, and Zadarius Smith. It's also my guess, just a guess. It's not probably a contract dollars and cents thing. It's probably more a timing thing. Zadarius doesn't want to put, a 32-year-old body through a ton of stuff in training camp. And you get this, Coach. I mean, as we all get older, hey, some things don't always recover as quickly. So I'm guessing Z Smith is probably going to be back. And, hey, keep your notifications on for when that video hits. Hopefully you and the family are doing well, by the way. Don't want to forget that. Look, I have that answer, Stephanie. He won't throw games like Ben over Johnson. Could be an accurate statement. Johnny, laughing out loud. I'll go with that. Jess, greetings and salutations. I think as much vertical game Morton wants, he's going to use a lot of two-back sets, and why not? Question mark. We've got speed at wide receiver and running back. Spread teams out. Give Goff extra blockers with the backs. Yeah, 100%. You keep 5 offensive linemen. You release 2 receivers, a tight end, maybe a third wide receiver, but you're going to have a back or 2 in the backfield behind Goff to be able to read easily where the blitz is coming from and give him that extra half second or so of time. Stephanie's laughing. Coach Tanya, Stephanie Wada, I wonder the same thing. I'm excited to see! Exclamation point. And me too. Me too indeed. Drake Morton won't show us anything same as Shepard until the season gets here. Yeah, most coaches are going to keep it real dang generic in the preseason, 100%. Although there are some that just say, heck, man, you're going to find out one way or the other. I'm going to get my guys some extra reps, and we're going to go for it. But I don't know if we'll see that with the Lions. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan of the Drew Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! Good to see you, Henry, as always. Good morning, Drew Crew. Johnny L., you ready for some grit in your morning? Oh, yeah, I'm down with that. France, somebody always knows something, though. That is not an inaccurate statement. Yeah, somebody's always got a little bit of knowledge, and that knowledge tends to get out. Johnny L., how's your mom doing, Coach Tanya K? Hopefully everybody in the Duke Crew has said a prayer or two for your mom there, Coach Tanya K. Brent, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, time for some grit. Hookadoo. Oh, yeah, I'm good with that. Susan, good morning, Duke Crew. 2 and maybe 3 back sets. I like the way you're thinking. In fact, I think you're probably spot on. I don't know if we'll see it often, but from time to time, it'll probably be situational. Okay, the man, the myth, the Mr. Grit, Brett DeWitt, off the top of the morning. Oh, yeah, back at you. Silver, Campbell said Morton kept going to some or similar plays so that the players could get better at it and don't need to stress out with many things. Yeah, I get why Morton's going to, he's come out and said it. He's going to run a lot of the same stuff. Why wouldn't you? It was successful before. Why wouldn't you do it now? But I do think throughout the season, he's going to start sprinkling in a little bit more of his own stuff. Once they're comfortable with some things, add a few more things. 5 fingers ready. The Lions are about to go NWO on the NFL. Man, NWO, man. It seems like that thing is back in the early 90s, mid 90s, and lately it just feels like it's been popping up more and more. So I don't know. Hey, yeah, I'd be down with it. Maybe we can drop a big old bow on everybody in the NFL. Silver, Hassani Manley, good day, sir. I am back at you both. Have we seen him yet? Mr. Hassani has stepped into the room of grit. Good morning, Mr. Hassani. All right. I guess maybe I missed him. Hey, speaking of the guy, Hassani Medley. Good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Same to you. Hopefully it's a phenomenal day over in Cairo. Johnny L., good morning to you, Mr. Hassani. Jess, good morning all. And back at you. Henry Moore, good morning, Mr. Hassani. Exclamation point. Hassani Medley, good morning to all my friends watching Lions Talk. Hey, you always love to talk about the Lions every morning, right? Sosimo, props to you, Coach. I don't even watch much of the other channels anymore. The Duke Crew rules. The Duke Crew does rule. I would always encourage everybody, hey, watch multiple different news outlets. Just being a former journalist or whatever, the more different perspectives you get, maybe you can develop your own perspective. I enjoy doing this, and hopefully you guys enjoy being a part of the group. Silver, although Scorsdale apparently played better than Jones, Jones still up on him on the depth chart. If I remember correctly, Coach, I can't wait to see how the roster will shape. We've talked about it for eons now, all off season. One of the biggest strengths of this team is the depth. The fact that everybody trying to get one of those 53-man roster spots, one of those precious ones, knows they have to ball out. You can't slack. You can't have a bad day, really, or at least too many bad days, because if you do, somebody else is going to send up that chart. I don't know if Jones will end up being the number 2 right or left tackle or anything like that. I do know Scorsdale has kind of salvaged something this offseason. At least so far, he's trending that way. Where before, a month or so ago, we probably would all agreed he might be, a difficult cut, but probably a cut for the team. I think his versatility and his play has elevated enough to where at least he's in the conversation to be one of the 8, 9, 10 offensive linemen retained. Gary, there is going to be a lot that you don't be able to predict this season on offense and defense. I believe that will be evident by the Chicago game. Yeah, we're going to see some stuff week 1. I like the way you're thinking, Gary. Week 2, you're probably going to go a little bit more. You get to week 4 or 5, you're probably pretty much set in. Doesn't mean they can't still introduce something later in the season. Most coaches do, but you should have a bit of a baseline at that point. Johnny, there she is, Miss Jennifer Garner. All right, we'll go with that for Jessica. Mary Smith, hey, always good to see Mary. Good morning, Duke Crew and Lions fans. Tomorrow night, guys, let's go Lions. Praying for our boys. Don't overdo, just do. Yes, let's just get out on the field, keep everybody healthy, and get on to the next one. Silver, Susan Scott, sounds good. The 2 backs, 3, question mark. I'd like to see that college remnants. Yeah, but again, with some of the versatility of some of our running backs, I'm guessing that's where we're going with that some of them can flex on out. Hookadoo, I swear she does look like Jennifer Garner. Hey, I guess there's worse people to look like, right? Trevor Reber, good morning, Coach Dan and the world-famous Duke Crew. Woo! And back at you. Silver, sounds good. Let's see, Steve Manu at fullback. I do wonder if Skipper does have to play on the offensive line a little bit more. Manu, does he take over Skipper's role as the number 3, blocking tight end? Or is you're suggesting maybe a fullback? I think it's possible. Xavier, greetings, salutations to the Duke Crew. Exclamation point, go Lions. Woo! Let's get better and go to the Super Bowl. I think we're going to the Super Bowl. I think we're going to own the Super Bowl this year. Susan, I can see Gibbs or Vaki flex out at wide receiver. Silver. Yeah, I think we're thinking alike there. Gary, in the red zone, yeah, could be all sorts of different areas, but definitely in the red zone where things get more compressed. Lions Talk Live fan, good morning, Deweys, and back at you, Hookadoo. We're on the same page then, Mary Smith. Grit wins! Exclamation point. Xavier, I love the show, Coach Dan. We love you being here. We love the Duke Crew. I think we all love each other. How about that? It's nothing but love in here. Pat Rock, talk about the defense some. I feel the O gets enough run. All right, defense, I'll try to do that for a different show. But here's what I think. I think you're going to see, and we've talked about it some this offseason, I think you're going to see a ton of secondary heavy formations. I also think you'll see some formations where the front 7 looks, like a brick wall. I think, Shep has his own ideas. He's going to borrow a lot of stuff, obviously, from Aaron Glenn. That's who he learned under. But he is a former linebacker. I think he's going to be a little bit more liberal with having, 4 linebackers on the field and letting them get after the quarterback or other stuff like that. Probably in those situations, I'll anticipate a little bit more zone coverage. Silver, thumbs up, Susan. I'm down with that. Thomas, good day, Coach and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. May all our Lions dreams come true. I'm hoping so too. Who is the MVP in the game Friday? Question mark. I choose Hooker. Go get him, Lions. Hey, if it was Hooker, that'd be a great day. Great day to be a Hooker out there. And I think he's going to play better this game than he did last game. The last game, as soon as the Hall of Fame game was announced, we talked about it with, the Duke Crew and everybody on the show. How much are these guys really going to have time to develop stuff? I mean, a week extra of preparation doesn't seem like a lot until you've ever coached or played, and you say, man, those extra 3 or 4 days of reps, they make a big difference. Mary Smith, Hookadoo, yes, I'm down with that. Charles, feed me Falcons. We will try to get you some Falcons, maybe a little bit of barbecue sauce and hot sauce on that too. David, good morning, Duke Crew. Good to see you, David. Man, it feels like it's been a hot second since we've seen you. Trim Reaver, drop that like button. Oh, yeah. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit all the buttons. Al, greetings, salutations. Back at you. Good to see you, Al. How's your day going? Here's Johnny 2.0. Howdy doody do, everybody? Question mark, exclamation point. Go Lions, all the above. Kurt Steele, what up, though, Duke Crew? What's up, man of Steel? How you doing, Professor? Let's go, Brandon. Good morning from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Hey, good morning to you. Al, greetings, salutations. Las Vegas, Flint Stone. There you go. And yes, you're getting up early to be a part of the crew. Thank you for that, by the way. Curtis Lee, hey, Duke Crew, I made a live show. Well, welcome on in. Congratulations, and thank you for being part of the crew. Jim at practice yesterday, Tesla and Stewart impressed. Hutch, AA, Ben Hassanin made some great plays. I think there's a lot of potential there, and you can go wherever you want when you see the defense making so many good plays. Are they ahead of the offense? I'd say typically in training camp, that's the case. I think we all get that. But the other part is you got to make plays. Tesla is obviously standing out to a lot of people. Hutch looks pretty dang good. Stewart, man, the kid's got wheels, no doubt about that. Alex Anzalone, we get that. We're seeing all sorts of videos of him locked up with, receivers, tight ends, everything. And I know some of you don't like it because, man, he's getting beat, but it's one-on-one drills. The quarterback knows the route. Same with the receiver or tight end or whoever. The defender doesn't. They're having to just read and react, and that's tough on one-on-one for even Pro Bowl players. Mary, good morning, Mr. Steele. Let's boss up and ball out this morning. I like the way you're thinking. Silver, Susan Scott. If Lions are going to play 3 halfbacks on plays, they better have 4 good ones on roster. In reality, if it happens, will be a few in particular plays, too many pigskin thirsty players on offense. Yeah, could be indeed. Johnny L. Yabba Dabba Do Crew, Lions Talk Live has the best crew. I will go with that. We got the best Do Crew anywhere. Hogan Professor Steele, good morning. Miles Mark, Green Sanitations Coach and crew, Cedar Rapids Grit. Yeah, 100%. Gotta love the grit every morning. Dennis, good morning. Dan and Do Crew, same at you. Mark, Zadarius Smith not coming back to Detroit to play for the Lions. Let that sink in. Who knows, man? We will see in time. Jennifer, good morning all. And with you, Kathy, can we stop with all the Ben Johnson Bears stuff? Let's focus on our team. It's getting old. That happens, man. You're going to find some of it all the time, especially leading into week 2 of the regular season. Okay, Shadow Man, morning. Miles Martin, did you bring some stealthy grit today? Oh, yeah. We'll find out. Inquiring minds want to know. Silver, Carrie, and we do like unpredictability as long as it goes well. And that might be a very accurate statement. Miles Market, hiya, Hookadoo. Danielle, grit for the rest of my life. You got to love the grit. Laughing out loud is Miles Myers. Cynthia, good morning all. Same at you. Southwest, hey, Mark, sync out of that chat. No clowns allowed. Do you work for the Lions? Hey, we'll find out. We'll find out indeed. Let's see if we get an answer. Laughing out loud is Brent. Chris Steele, good morning. Back at you. Let's see you. U of M, Dan. Good morning, Cynthia. I love the thumbnail, by the way, of Hutch. There you go. Going shining. Lauren Van Etch, good morning. Coach Dan and the Duke Crew and Professor Steele, good morning, everybody. And, hey, see you tomorrow, 5 o'clock, right? If I'm not mistaken. Carrie, Silver, I'm an optimist. I like the way you're thinking. Lions, bad guy. Lions are on the way to Atlanta. Let's go. 100%. They are going on down and getting ready. Carrie, except for Sudfeld. All right. Mark Zadarius Smith. Price is not low enough for Brad Walmart Holmes. I'm no GM. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It's my guess. It's either going to be real late in camp or more than likely after the first preseason game. If he doesn't sign by week 2 of the regular season, then Mark, I think you got a strong statement there that maybe it ain't going to happen. Sudfeld says, Brent, laughing out loud. Silver, Coach, I would imagine they are trying to find a true solid and defensive second string center for the rest of somebody that you know can hold the position. Could be indeed. Whether they're already in-house or they're looking externally, I think that's the big question. Grade 8, sad if it happens. 9 to 10 wins won't win the division, ornaments, or the playoffs. Now I'm down with that. Grade 8, or, I was wondering where you're going, or the, yeah. Silver Carey is smiling and strong. Let's see, Chris too. Roman and Williams and Hutch will be causing havoc when lined up next to each other. I think so too. I think we've got real potential with that defensive line. Anyway, you can have all the potential in the world. You still got to produce, but I think the defensive line might be far better than most Lions fans are thinking. Maybe not all, but some. Leonard, hey, talking about something I haven't seen in a hot second. Greetings, Sanitations, coach in the Duke Crew. Coach, do you think we will see the starters during the preseason because of the importance of the first 2 conference games? Easy answer for me. If it was me coaching, yes. The answer would be yes. I probably would have got someone in the Hall of Fame. If not, then definitely this game, probably half a quarter this game, and the next game after that, they're probably sitting, not playing the last preseason game, but that's me. Let's see, till the Hun, Mark Zadarius Smith wasn't signing until the end of camp to game 1, even if the numbers were matching up or not. I'll go with that. Brett, you agreed until the Hun, Curtis Lee. Dan, how about more Tay League to opposite Hutch when McClellan comes back? Give me a woo. How about a woo? 1, 2, and a 3. I just got to scroll on the screen. But to your point, I do think you're going to potentially see some situations where Aleem the Dream McNeil is the defensive end opposite Hutch, and maybe just Williams as well. Lions bad guy, Williams won't be carted off for the Eagles, so I don't know. I don't care. He's not the maximum of what we could have had if Carter a 9. The kid's only going to be a 7 max. Yeah, but here's what I would say, bad guy. If we take Carter, we don't have Gibbs and Laporta. So which would you take? 2 all-pro players or 1 all-pro player? I mean, me, I'm taking 2. I also agree. Attila, Xavier, Lions defense will be better this year because Za'Darius will be back. Exclamation point. We'll wait and see. We're all waiting to see, right? JC Gurley, your greetings and salutations. Coach and crew, same at you. Server. I think Campbell is trying to improve Tyreek's stamina, working him out and shaving a few pounds. He knows season is long and they might have to rely on him a whole lot. Needs to stay healthy. Yeah, agreed. Nothing wrong with staying healthy. Robert, greetings everyone. Back at you. Dre Day. NFC North predictions. Lions 13 wins, Packers 12, Vikings 10, and Bears 7 wins. It's going to be a tight season, but 10-7 isn't good enough. I'll go with that. Let's see. Phil, greetings and salutations. Duke Crew, same to you. Leonard, when can we see the Falcons game on TV? Duke Crew, I think it's on Fox, so whatever your local Fox network is. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds right. Hookadoo Z Smith in the house. Kerry, I wish they'd sign Z and Judon. Split the pay split the pay between the two. Take some work off Davenport. You have the money. We'll see if they do that. I wouldn't be sad if they did it. Rob Hawk, good morning. All exclamation. I don't think you can take the Bears lightly because as soon as you do, there's a good chance you will lose. Exclamation point. Any given Sunday, get Z back. Yeah, to think back to the Bears games last year, I mean, heck, they gave us, some good runs. I get we're beat up, yada, yada. But they've had some, the Lions and Bears have had some good games. Most of them have gone the Lions' ways the last 2 years, but they've been good games. If Ben Johnson can figure some things out, yeah, I wouldn't overlook anybody. But that's just me as a coach. I always get nervous about every opponent. I don't care if they're 0-80. We're still going to play our best game of the year. Let's see, Coach, why would you support or fan of the Detroit Lions not want to hear about Davenport setting the world on fire? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think he's going to be fine. Obviously, his success helps our success. So I'd be cheering on Davenport all the time. Sir, Leonard, I don't see it unless something tells them that the starters really need to see the field before regular season. The fact I believe Tyreek and Williams and Ratledge will not play against Atlanta. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. Dan Campbell has his way of doing things. It's easy for me to say what I would do as coach because my way isn't his way. But if you believe in something, you back that up and you stick with it. Don't ever pull a Matt Millen. That's one thing I did learn from Matt Millen, watching him, reporting on him, and getting to actually talk to them once or twice, is by the end, he was very open about he knew football. It just throughout his Lions tenure, he always thought somebody else knew more about being a GM or drafting or whatever, so he listened to other people instead of going with his gut. And, hey, man, if I'm a coach, a GM, whatever, I'm going to ride or die with my opinions, not your opinions. Zach, T.I., I'll go with that. Don Burr. Who's taking the Teddy Bears lightly? Question mark. We just don't like them and Benedict Johnson. I'm down with that. Zach, this is my first live show. Exclamation point. Woo! Just for your first time, I'll give you a 1, 2, and a 3. And there you go. Welcome to the Duke Crew, Zach. Brent, 10-7 in a wild card berth is fine with me as long as it ends with a Lombardi trophy. Lions or Road Warriors? Oh, yeah, I'm down with that, man. We get the Super Bowl. That's all I'm worried about. We're going to do Leonard, 7 p.m. on Fox. Double check that, though. We'll double check. Cynthia, good morning. And you guys all. Gary, welcome. Zach, Chad the Historian. Formation. Don Burr, skip the Bears. We'll be skipping them. Chad or a split T. Ooh, that's an idea. Miles Marter. Woo, Zach's higher. There we go. Johnny L, welcome to the family. Zach, I'll go with that. Gary, agreed. Don Burr. Let's see, we got Brett. Skip the toilet seats. We'll be skipping them. Good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Coach, can you imagine how good our defense would look if Hutchinson and Hassanin dominate the bookends of our defense? Vernon, to your point, man, yeah, that'd be a real good scenario. Chad the Historian. Hi, Dan and Duke Crew. Happy Thursday. 1 day to go. Exclamation point with a woo. Restore the roar. It is getting restored, my friend. Leonard, thank you, crew. I just want to win those games silver. Yeah, win them all, I say. Mary, that part, Don Burr. We'll go with that. Craig, what do you got? Coach Dan, what's your prediction on the Lions record this year? I say we finish 12-5. You know what? I'm going to go all Bob Barker. I'm going to go Price is Right. I'm going to say, how about 13-4, just so I can one-up you a little bit there. But, yeah, I like the way you're thinking. Somewhere in that range sounds right to me, Craig. Hookadoo, Yogi and Boo Boo are going to go down hard. Let's hope so. Scary, you're right there, said Ragnarok. There we go. Johnny L, Hookadoo, laughing. Miles Barter, Monty can throw a good pass. Yeah, this is true. He throws touchdown passes. Chad the Historian, what's Amir doing these days? We'll have to find out. Amir Abdullah, man, that's a throwback. Servicer Rob Hawk will not underestimate the Bears, which we already a good team. Last year just got a bunch of new players, draft picks, and the guru coaching. Might be accurate. Mark, What is Zadarius Smith's valuation salary for the season? That comes down to whoever signs him. Two people can have different views on that. So whatever he gets from a team, that's his value. J.C. Gilly, I think we may see St. Brown lining up in the backfield. I agree with that 100%. We've seen it in his career, but maybe more this year, given that's how he's been used before. Agreed. He was used that way at USC too, by the way. Shout out to the Trojan. Server. Coach, I like Colleen. He is scrappy and looks like he can play all the interior line. Yeah, might be. And that versatility, like we talked with Sorsdale, that's a big plus. Cynthia Alada, good morning. I see what you mean. Tell the Hun, good morning. And agreed. I'll go with that. Southwest. This Mark guy must be obsessed with Zadarius Smith. He's got him in his mouth more than cash doll. All right. Yeah, Cynthia. Hookadoo, our Detroit Lions are going to steal their picnic basket. I like the way you're thinking. JC Gilly, Chad, he signed with the 49ers. There we go. Southwest Mark, come in here trying to troll and got rolled. All right. Coach Tanya K, I agree. I trust he is coming back, and Mom hopefully leaves the hospital today. Exclamation point. Thanks. Hey, that's good news. And again, thoughts and prayers for you, your mom, and the family. Okay, you got that right, Cynthia. And Mr. Roger will laugh. I'll go with that. Mary, Southwest Holler is laughing. Pastor Ben, good morning. Coach Dan, I believe the Lions will surprise with win versus loss record. Remember, the defense will win us some games if we stay healthy. Exclamation point. Go Lions, best podcast. Thank you for saying that, and thank you for being here. Good to see you, my friend. I know you can't come on too often because of the time difference and stuff like that. See, Thomas, I was saying 6 weeks ago, Zadarius will sign after the second preseason game, maybe a September 7th, but he will sign. I like the way you're thinking. Thomas, smash the like, y'all. Smash all the buttons if you would, please. Southwest, the Lions take the NFL by storm this season. Avenge tour. Our injury soldiers are back ready for war. I like it. I like it indeed. Silver Star, I have noticed sometimes messages don't show everywhere or on your screen. Yeah, it happens, I think, from time to time for sure. Call S8. I would love to see a lineman in the backfield as a blocker. Chicago did it with the fridge. We could do it with, quote, a Ford truck blocker or runner. Might be. And could it be Manu? It might be indeed. Coach Johnny K, hopefully Mom can go home today. Exclamation point. Thanks. Anytime. You need something, you just let us know. Lit Flames games. Lions season is around the corner. Let's just go to the preseason madness out of the way and then dominate. Let's dominate indeed. Johnny Gasworth, hello, Duke crew. Exclamation point. Hope everyone has a great Thursday. Same to you, my friend. Have a phenomenal day. That was this preseason game. Must watch Hassani, Manu, Vaki, Hooker, and Troy Polamalu twin. All right, I'm done with that. Number 15, Gary. If you ease, they will show to coach. All right, we'll show them up. Let's see, Vernon, coach, how serious if Miles Frazier injury, coach? You see the linebacker surprise on defense? You see any linebacker surprises? Maybe stored a little bit because he does have some wheels. Frazier's injury, I don't know the full scope of it. Only what has been reported that he'll either be back real late in the preseason or real early in the regular season. Hey, more the difference between this team and the majority of the past, they actually plan on going on the big show. I like it. Yes, they do. They plan to be there. Cynthia Hookadoo, oh yeah, exclamation point. Forget about Mr. Roger. There you go. Carrie, Gasman in the house. Let's hope so all the time. Great day. Offense carries team. Defense is more of a support group in the main cast, which is the offense. I'll concur. Thomas, most important this year, health, exclamation point. If health, regular season, 13-4 in the Super Bowl. I'd like that thinking indeed. The Rebel, greatest salutations, Coach Dan, the Duke crew. Woo, back at you. Thomas, the Hall of Fame game is extremely important with our new coordinators. I agree with that. It really helped. Yeah, getting that extra amount of reps, that extra bit of preseason, I think it will pay dividends. Thomas, 100% agreed. Leonard, 100% agreed. Thomas D, health is the number one priority and concern. I concur. That was P.S. This defensive end from Houston could be a player. Watch him. We will be watching him indeed. Jeremy, live from Albion, Michigan. Exclamation point. Love the content. Thank you for that. Love the show. Keep it up, brother. Anytime. Let's go, Lions, baby. Woo! I'll go with that. Is that Socrates in your photo? I do not know. The Ronin 99, talk about the infamous one right here. Haven't seen him in a hot second. One of the original Duke Group members. Good morning and greetings and salutations. Exclamation point. Some of us are just glad to be awake and alive today. I'm done with that. Count your blessings. I will count them one at a time. The Rebel 08, Tesla is the X Factor. And man, it sounds like more and more we're getting that kind of confirmation, aren't we? Lauren, just changed a feel on top of the world. I'm done with that. We'll do with that in the top of the world. Thomas, as far as talent up top, Lions top 3 in the league. Back was very good. Problem 3 string is so-so at best. got some development to do, seen Hall of Fame game. Yeah, 100%. A lot of those guys later in the game, they won't even be in the NFL 3-4 weeks from now. Mark, I like Smith. I think we all like Smith. At least most of us. How about that? The Ronin, even when I don't make the AM show, this is my first listen. Thanks for that, man. I have doc appointments today, so I gotta be up. I'm just checking in. I'm no worries at all. Hey, go. Hopefully the doc appointments all go well, and you have a great day. Thanks as always, man, for being a part of the Duke crew. Thomas, believe it or not, the mad assassin Hassanin could be a great inside defensive lineman. Why? His strength and quickness inside and center and guards would be terrified. He could be a poor man's Aaron Donald. Could be indeed. 100% there. Lions bad guy defense, offense is easier to put together than defense, so give me Carter over Gibbs in Laporta. By now, we could have had a tight end. Hey, man, you can second guess every pick in the world, but you know what? We went 15-2 with almost no defense last year. All right, the Rebel 8, I believe the Lions will take this division no matter what the record. I'm down with that. Bull Booth, why not? What reality is bad? Bad guy. We'll find out. That's what a reality is, bad guy. All right, Thomas, it will not happen. But I play starters a half in this game. Yeah, I would do it myself. I get why DC doesn't do it. He just doesn't believe in it. Gary, Thomas Downer, 100% agreed. Charles, good morning. I just scanned this TV program, and it stated the game is on CBS at 7 p.m. Friday. All right, we'll check it out there. Kerry Hassanin, there we go. Thomas, reason to play starters, game reps. I concur. Don't want to start off slow with the first two games being divisional. No, I agree with that 1,000%. The Rebel 8, I don't care about records. Just stay the course and bring home the Lombardi. Oh, yeah. Yeah, as long as you win the Super Bowl at the end of the day, that's all anybody's going to worry about. Brent, Thomas, I agree. Mary, thanks, Charles. Hookadoo, Thomas, that plan would make the most sense. I'll go with that. Amy, hey, Dan and Duke crew had situations at home. Exclamation point. Today is my birthday. Happy birthday. And looking forward to tomorrow's game. Take care all. Back at you. And hey, just for your birthday, let's give you a 1, 2, and a 3. Happy birthday, Amy. Thomas, only real concern for O is overusing the running backs. The way we split reps last year kept Knuckles and Sonic mostly healthy. Exclamation point. We must be concerned with overuse. I'll go with that. Kerry, with Smith, Judon, Davenport teaching Hassanin, you just might end up with a Darnold. It might be indeed. Egon, I haven't seen a hot second. Silver Server, I had a comment disappear last week. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, guys. I do know I have run the show for a few years now. Not every comment comes through. Why? I don't know if it's something on YouTube or Google's end. So that part I can't speak to. Gary, happy trails. Have a good Thursday. Drink water. Stay in the shade and go Lions. Woo! I like the way you're thinking. Mary, happy birthday, Amy. Have a great day. 100% indeed. Phil, single wing backfield. Could be. Brent, happy birthday, Amy. Sean, good morning, everyone. Back at you, Sean. David, happy birthday, Amy. Thank you for that. Till the Hun, when it's all said and done, Gibbs will be a better player than Carter. I'll go with that. Hookadoo. Amy, blow your candles out and wish for a Lions win. Happy birthday. Sounds like a great birthday to me. All right, guys, if there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as quick as I can. If you would be so kind before checking out, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Have a great day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know, and we'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Excuse me, sir, would you... Donations to the Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus?
Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism?
Help Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology?
Or nuclear power?